So we will use these form libraries in designing one example. We will create one app and we will use all these libraries to interact with it. Now, once we are good with forms, conditional rendering, how to handle, and one more concept today, we will see about controlled components. We are going to learn about controlled components. So, what are controlled components and how to handle? In React interviews, several topics are related to this concept. So many things are relative to controlled components. Actually, we created components using functions, and these components purpose is reusability, easy to reuse the design, easy to extend the design. What is the limitation of the components that we designed is they will work in the same way every time. But a controlled component means you can control its behavior. You can make a component work for a different purpose in different situation. That means actually you used it. You used controlled components already. What are controlled components you used is, for example, we learnt about one small formic. So when we learnt about formic, I showed you we have a formic component, we have a field component, we have a error message component. Like this, we learned some component. Now, what is the purpose of form component? And what is the purpose of error message? What is purpose of error message? It is used for displaying error message of any field. What is the purpose of field? It is used to create one HTML element. Which element? Which element that you can decide? You want a text box, you want a password, you want a date, you can decide. You can change according to the situation. In one case, it will work as a text box. In another, it will work as a password. How that is possible? That means how a component can change its complete behavior, its functionality, its behavior, it can change. That is possible using control. Actually, in real time, you have worked with a lot of controlled components. Suppose if you learn Bootstrap, Bootstrap have a carousel. Carousel means sliding banners. Now that is a controlled component. That means it will give sliding banners. What should be in the banner that you can decide? Is it mandatory to use that in the same way how they have given us? No, we can customize. How? How you can customize? By passing some data into it, saying that I want this field as text box. I want this carousel with this image. That means A component is controlled by the data passed from the parent. That means from a parent component, we pass the data and we will tell act like this in this situation. That means parent component decides how this component should work, how it will decide by passing some data into it. So a controlled component is a child component which is controlled by using the data passed from the parent. That means we can reuse, we can customize according to our requirement. Majority of all reusable components that you use in projects all are controlled only. They are all controlled. Uncontrolled means a component is not affected by any data coming from external sources. It will have the same behavior, same functionality every time. Controlled means it completely depends on the data coming from the parent. We will see how to design, how we can create that. I will show you. Means some real world examples I will show you. For example, you see this is Bootstrap. In that, let's go to documents. You see they have components called, suppose, yeah, you see they have component called accordion. They have component called carousel. This carousel is a component which will give some sliding banner. Now it is not necessary that you have to use in the same way. I hope you already learned we can have a carousel without buttons. We can have a carousel with controls. We have a carousel with indicators. That means you can change its behavior by passing some instructions to it. You can customize according to your requirements. So these are all controlled components. They're all controlled components. For example, I will show you one more. Suppose we have Telerik. Telerik is a third party. Let's go to demos. In that, they give, let's go to React demos. You see, they provide here a grid. When I select a grid, you can see this grid is displaying a grid here. You will see a grid will come. This grid is currently showing employee details. It can filter, it can sort, it can search, it can do a lot of things. Now the point, it can export to PDF or Excel. Now the point is the same grid I want in my project. So I will buy it. Actually, this is paid one. It's not a free. Telerik is a paid service. Microsoft, IBM, NASA, all these are official partners of Telerik. I already showed you that. So we can buy this and we can use it. I want the same grid, but data is not same. That means it will work for my products. It will work for employees. It will work for students. It can work for different data. Now the question is how you design one table in such a way that it can change according to data. That means you need one table which can change according to data. You pass employees, it should work for employees. You pass products, it should work for products. That means it is controlled by the data coming from the parent. These all are controlled components. In reality, we have to design all this, right? Let's see how to create them. We will see how to create them. So, first important, what is a controlled component? Actually, a controlled component is is child component. A controlled component is child component that is controlled by the data passed from parent. A controlled component is child component that is controlled by the data passed from parent. So it allows to customize according to the requirements. It allows to customize according to the requirements. So it is controlled by using props. We call properties. It is controlled by using properties, props. So controlling refers to both design and logic. Controlling refers to both design and logic. You can design, you can control the design, you can control the logic of any component. So a component is controlled by the data passed by parent. So here, as I told you in interviews, this is one major topic for questions. Lot of complex questions are asked. So first point regularly you face in interviews is how data is passed from parent to child. How a parent component sends data to child. And the answer is by using props. So properties are used for controlling. That means actually syntactically how you design is we have a function and this is child component and it is expecting some properties. By using the properties, it can control. So the behavior can be controlled by using these props. And very important is actually props is object type with keys, key and value collection. Props are props are object type. Object type. So usually this keys are dynamic and can handle any JavaScript data type. Keys are dynamic and can handle any JavaScript data type. That means what you can do. So inside the component, you can use props.key. You can use the key and usually the key will accept the value. You can assign any value into that. right? So how this works, let's see one small example. We will see how we can transport and how we can handle the data. So what we are going to do is, in this now, we will create one example. So let's go to the project. This is our app. Okay. Let's add. This is the components. Okay. I'm adding a separate folder in SRC, and the folder is controlled components. Okay. So controlled components, in that we will design one component navbar dot jsx. That's a navbar. So I am creating export function navbar. I want a navbar, and this navbar should work according to my requirement in different situations. I am designing some weather app. It should work for weather. I am designing some shopping app. It should work for shopping app. How a navbar can change like that according to your requirement. So it is expecting properties. That's just a formal name. You can give any name. But usually every component uses properties. That's the reason we refer it as props. For example, you are using in HTML button. The best example for you. Button is not a element. It is a component. Button is a component. Tell me for which purpose we can use it. You can use it for reset. You can use for submit. You can use for static button. That depends on its type property. If type is as submit, it works as a submit. If it is reset, it works as a reset. So this is a component that you have used daily, regularly you are using. That means now we are designing one navbar, and navbar contains properties. So what are the properties? Let's see. What are the properties we can use? So the properties here, this navbar is a component. Component should return some JSX. So it should return a nav. Okay. What should be the behavior of this nav? Let's see. What I will do, navbar will have a class. Let's put the class deflex justify content between adding border, some border one, something like this we are using. Okay. Margin white 2. Okay, this is navbar. In this navbar, we will have a span. Here, the company name should come. I will use font size for font weight bold like this. What should be the company name, brand name? That depends on your requirement. So I will give here props.brand. That means brand is a key. It's a dynamic key. You can give any name, whatever name you want, you can give. So now navbar is having a property called brand. And what is that brand? It will say take some string and it will use that string here. Okay. After that, beside that, we will keep this in one div. If we want, we can keep in one div. In another div here, I want menu items, but I am not sure what items they want. But whatever items they give, I need to display them here. So here I am expecting dynamically props dot menu items. This is also our own name, menu items, but we are expecting the menu items as a string array. Then we will use a map. We will read every item, and for every item we will add a span. We will put a key and we will put a value, that is item. We will put some class mx, some for some gap between that. After that, right side, right side, we will have a simple button, class name btn, btn person, sorry, btn is enough, bi person. That is actually fixed. Every time it will be same. Right side is same. Brand name is not fixed. Items are not fixed. Okay. Now what we want, our navbar is ready. Wherever you want, you can use it. Okay. Let's see here. We will go to the components and we will add so some control demo. Okay. Let's say control demo dot jsx. Okay. Export function control demo. So, and we will return a simple component. So we will keep this here control demo. Okay. So now here we are adding some container fluid. Okay. In this we are giving so one option here. Let's go to the design. It's not running na npm run dev. Okay, now here we will add a navbar. How to add navbar? We have to first import the navbar. So import, what is it? Navbar from controlled components. And you want to use the navbar here. So what we do, put a navbar. Now navbar is expecting some properties. What is it? Brand is one property. The brand I will give as some shopping. Okay. And it is expecting menu items. Menu items is another property. It is expecting an array. You can create an array and pass it, or directly I will pass an array like home, like fashion, like food, electronics, like offers, like this. Offers, like suppose we will define some vendors. So like this we are having. And you can see according to your requirement a navbar comes. That means a navbar is added according to your requirements. Now we can have a lot of things. That means so much is there. I just given one basic point here. Suppose I want to control its colors, effects. So for example, I want the navbar to be in different colors according to situation. Then let's do one thing. These classes we will make it dynamic and I will put a backtick. So these are dynamic and I will put a backtick. Okay. Now what is the point? Here I will add one class that is props. So I will use props dot theme. I will use theme. What is the point? Wherever you want the nav bar, you can just mention which theme you want. That means I'm using here a theme property. And what is the theme? Some BG primary text white. And automatically the theme will come here. That means it will apply that theme. You can do a lot of things. I just added only one. So I just added only one. We can add a lot of things. That means here we can change the color of button. So we can change the appearance of this button. Here also you can pass a dynamic one, right? For example, temporal I say BTN light. So then obviously it will be like this. So what is the concept? In some another place, next time I want another nav bar. In some another place, I want another nav bar. This time the theme for nav bar will be some BG dark text white. I want brand as some weather, right? I want some brand as weather. I want some menu items. Menu items is an array, and I want some menu items like suppose your city. So today's weather, something like this weather. So forecast. So suppose for next 4 days, something like this, and you can see it will get a different nav bar. That means the same nav bar, but working for a different purpose. So that means a component which will not have individual access anywhere. Individually, you will not use a nav bar. It is used in another component and it is controlled by the data coming from the parent. From the parent. These are all controlled components. So it depends. For example, suppose I want a logo also here. That means what I can do, I will put a span and here I will put a class and I will put dynamically props dot logo. That means whenever anybody wants a logo, then they will use another key called logo. Logo is equal to bi back. Here logo is equal to some bi cloud, something like this. Then it can give like this. That means different logo, different caption, different items. It doesn't means that it will change everything. Some are fixed, some may be changing. What we kept fixed is shortcuts we kept fixed, like button, sign in button is always fixed. Not only that, as I told you, we will see so many examples. This is just only one point, right? So what is a controlled component? The component which is controlled by the data from the parent. And how parent can pass data into it? Through props. That means through properties, we can pass the data into it. And it can access and use the data. And here comes the key point. I told you conditional rendering. All that we implement here according to the situation. Suppose I want this as vertical nav bar in some places because sometimes I decide this to use left side, right side. Then I want vertical. That means a horizontal or vertical that I want to decide. I want to change that. Then what we can do? This nav bar is currently using deflex. That means display flex, justify content. Actually, flex direction is what? It is row. If I don't give row, by default it is row. right? So the flex direction is rho, but this I will decide. That means see, this return, it is returning a flexible horizontal. It can change complete return and behavior. How it can change? What you can do is in conditional rendering, this is the third part. First one I showed you, bring one component according to situation and display. Second one I showed you, a component inside a component, some area is changing. Third one is completely a component render can change, output can change. How? What I will do is here in this, I will go to, yeah. So in this, what we will do is, yeah, in this, I will clean up this return and I will write a condition if props dot layout is equal to, if layout is equal to horizontal, layout is equal to horizontal. That means if they pass a layout as horizontal, then what should happen? It should return this part. It should return this. Otherwise, else what should happen? It should return a complete different layout. This time I will give this flex direction as not as row. I will give as what? Column. Flex direction as column. That means flex row, flex column. And what I will do is align items center. Also I will use. And this time for this nav bar, because it is in columns, I will put a style with the width as width as some 200 150 pixel is fine. Some 200 pixel is fine. And we can add height of the nav bar how much you want. So I will keep some height of the nav bar 400 pixel I'm using. Okay, that is the height and width of the nav bar. And one more thing here, these are menu items. This time they will come one below another. If they come one below another, it is margin y 2, some gap. Y means above and below, right? Now, one more thing, this button will be W100. That means it will occupy full screen. Okay, that is fine. You can see that now it is going to display them like this. And one more important, they are all blocks actually. They are all blocks. Then what we will do? So we'll do one more work here. What is that? If they are all spans, na, we are using span. Instead of a span, we make them as what? Div. So we make them as a div. Instead of span, we make them as a div. Right? Of course, your wish. You can put anything you want. So whatever you want. So class 4 means appearance. You can add anything you want. Right? So here also I will give actually margin top 2, some little gap will be there. Okay. Now I will put that somewhere. Yeah. Okay. Now why they are vertical? Why they are vertical? Because whenever I'm using, I haven't mentioned the layout. So that means for the first nav bar, I will use what layout? Layout is which layout? Horizontal layout I am passing. Then automatically the first nav bar should be horizontal. And the second nav bar is vertical. Right? Suppose I am passing this also layout. Layout is what? Horizontal. Horizontal. Then automatically it will be horizontal. The first nav bar I don't want horizontal. Then I will make it as what? Vertical. That means it will change its layout and render that vertical. You make more changes, effects and all that depends on your requirement, how you do. That means I want when it is vertical, usually all these we can apply the class as btn, some button styles we are applying for them, right? Depends, whatever you want, you can apply and we can configure, right? So, what is the concept here? How you can create one component and change its complete behavior. Actually, you will see this regularly in every application where a component is changing its data. For example, you visit some Amazon. You see in Amazon, these are cards. They design these cards as controlled components. Why? Because every few days they are changing. Every few days they are changing. And if you have observed, every few days they are not four cards every time. Sometimes three cards, right side only one large card, sometimes one card. It will be changing. What do you think? Every day they change the design? No. Every day just they change the layouts. That means they control the behavior. They control the behavior. Same component they want. So, but with different. You observe here, this is showing four. In the next place, it is showing only one. That means they will create one component in such a way that if they pass only one detail, it will display one row. If they pass several details, it will split into columns. It can change. I will show another example. We will see that how we can handle. But this is one example of controlled components. So how do we access controlled components? So controlled component, component, controlled component is accessible from other components. Controlled component is accessible from other components, but it requires all mandatory properties to be configured with data. All mandatory properties to be configured with data. So generally how we access, so controlled components, and we have property is equal to value. So property is equal to value. Right. So one small example I will give. One more little complex one we will design. So in this example, first what you have to do, go to src and add a new folder, controlled components. So add a new file, navbar.jsx, and in that we have all this. That's the code we have in that navbar. Yeah. This project related, all the repository I will share with you, but on Monday, because Monday we are going to delete all the people from the classroom group because several irregular people who don't properly attend, they cause problems in class. We will remove them. Monday we will share a resetted code, new code with regularly attending people, and I will share the project with you. Okay, project also with you. So Monday you will get the new code with the project link also. Okay. Yeah. So this is navbar. Okay. One more thing, what you do. Third. So we go to components and add some control demo. That's so we have this in that control demo dot jsx. Control demo dot jsx. In that I am using this navbar. I am using this navbar. Okay. So we are importing the navbar and we are using that navbar. Okay, let's create little more complex one. Like let's create a grid. One of the famous components is grid. In real-time websites, you will see these grids very much. I showed you grid. A grid is a table. Now the challenging one is you need to design one table without knowing what data will be there. Then how many rows, how many columns you will design? How to design rows and columns? Generally, table design means table, T head, T body, in T head headings. We don't know data. Then how you will design headings? Data will be decided later by them. But how you will design without data? How you will design? Let's see. We will create one. So we will create one another controlled component by name data grid dot jsx. Okay. This is export function data grid and it is a controlled component. So it is expecting props. It is expecting properties. Fine. What it should return? It should return a table. That's important. And we will apply. So dynamic, we will apply table, table hover like this. Later we can apply some themes, colors and all we can apply. That's okay. Table hover is fine. Now in this table, we have T head, caption. Caption, we are not sure. That depends on props dot caption. That means later when they access our grid, they will pass a caption that will be used as caption. And we will put here caption top. Usually in Bootstrap, caption is bottom. We will keep it top. Fine. Next, we are expecting T head. T head is the header. In that row, in that columns, how many columns we don't know. Generally, what we are expecting from the developer. From the developer, what we are expecting is we are expecting an array of objects. And in this, we will have a field and a value. That's what we are expecting. This is the data we are expecting. Now, what is your responsibility is in this data, collect the first record and check how many keys are there and generate a heading for every key. So what is the point? Access one record from the data. Obviously, first record is good. Get the first record from the data. In that first record is what type? Here first record is what type? Object type. First record is an object, na array of objects. First record is an object. In that object, there will be several keys. Read all the keys and use them as headings. So, what should be the table headings here in the row? So, in the row here, in the row, we want headings. Headings depends on the keys in the first object of data. How to access the first object of data related all keys? We have to use object dot keys. Dot keys is a JavaScript method which is used to collect all keys from any object. Which object? We have to pass that object. Object is in props, they will pass some data. In that, we will get the first index. That means what it is going to do, it is going to return all the keys of first record. That means they will pass some data. Data is usually an array, and in that array, there will be one record. We will get that record. Okay. Now, what it is doing, it is returning the collection of all keys. So we need to map all the keys, read every key, and for every key, we need to create a th. For every key, we have to create one table header. We have to create one table header for every key. Okay. And you know that. So here what we do? Yeah. Here everyone needs a key and its value must be here. Whatever key you read, that value should be used as header. That's it. That means your headings are ready. That means how many headings will be there, we don't know. But whatever data they pass, we will collect headings from there and we will put it here. That's the logic. Okay. What about next? Headers ready. Then T body. Here we want data. How many rows? We are not sure. How many rows? We are not sure. So we will read from props, same data. We have to read every element from the array. Data is an array. That means we can directly use a map. Read every item. Okay. For every item, we need to create a row. In that row, we will put a key that is usually item. Okay. In this, how many rows will be generated? How many items are in the data? Those many rows. That means if data contains 10 records, 10 rows will come. But what should be in the row? In the row, we need a cell. How many cells? How many cells? That depends on this item. This item is one object, na? Actually, that item is this object. Am I right? That item is this object. In this object, we don't need field name. We need only value. That value must be displayed as TD. That means now here what we have to do. Here we need to generate another dynamic. Here how many cells? That depends on how many values are there in this item. How to read all the values of that item? To read all the values of that item is an object. Again, we have to use what? Object dot what? Not keys, values. We have to read every value. Every value from which one? Item. We read every value from that item and we will map. So we will read the value and for every value we will create a TD. In the TD we will put the value. And obviously it is iterating means it should also have a key. Key is what? Value. That is the logic we need to implement. That's the logic we need to implement. We need to do that. That means we have to read every heading of one object and create headers. We need to read every record and create rows. In every record, we need to read every value and we need to present as cells. That's how we design. Okay, now your grid is ready, but lot of more things are there we will do. The grid is ready now. Okay, fine. So we will use T body. Oh, sorry. This is some T foot, TR. In the TD we will use. Uh, Later we will do because it becomes very complicated. You will get confused because I want to add a pagination there. Later we will add that pagination. We will separately design. Now first we will see up to this. It will confuse you. First up to this, I hope everyone is clear. First thing, we are reading data. Data is an array of objects. In that, we are reading the first object and generating headings. And we are reading all objects and we are generating rows. That's what the logic here. Okay, let's first present this. We will go to control demo. Here I want. Okay, let's see what we are having here is I will import here. I will import data grid from controlled components. I am importing data grid. For example, here we are having constant products is equal to use state. It is some data. And in this products, it is an array of objects. It is having some name. It is having some price. Roughly, I added some objects. So name, so this is mobile and this is price. Okay, this is one detail we are having. This is one data. Okay, let's create another one. Suppose employees. Employees is another data. Use state. So use state. Okay, in this array of employees, every employee have some first name. So we have last name, some name. So we have some designation. So we have some salary, something. We are having some more details. Like this, we are having some data. So some data is there. Okay, only one record is there about this. So one, two records. Okay, let's add two, three records. Some name. So some name. So some names we are having. Some developer, something like this. Some admin. Okay, so some options we are giving, some features we are adding. Okay, fine. Now what we are doing simply here, first we want a data grid. What data grid is expecting? Data grid is expecting a caption. And what is the caption? I want to display employee details. Employee details is the caption and it is expecting data. We used props.data, right? What is the data? Data is coming from employees. That's it. And you can see it is going to create a grid for you. It is going to create a grid for you. That means with employee details, it is going to generate a table for you. It's designing a table for you. All the field names and all the values. And you designed it in such a way that it can work for any data. Later, for example, I'm using some HR horizontal line. I'm using a data grid. This caption is some products info. And here we have data. Data is nothing but what? Products. Then it will work for products. It will get another one for products. Totally different. That means number of columns are different, rows are different. It depends on how much data you are having. What's the data you are having? Actually, later we add lot of things into this. That means, for example, see, let's go to the data grid. In the data grid, in the these headings are dynamic, but one heading is fixed, and that heading is actions. That means you can see it is showing some actions heading everywhere. Actions is there, right? Another point is these cells are dynamic, but one cell is fixed. One cell fixed. What is that? It will have button class btn warning bi pen fill. Okay, we have another button, so danger. So we are having like trash fill. It is having like some mx2. That means you can see they will be like this. So, and very important, it can have filtering, sorting, searching, so many things. That means what is our next level is to add functionality also. That means if I click delete, it should delete that. Depends on the data. It should delete that particular record. For that, little more concept is required. Some more information you need to know to handle that situation. Depends on design. For example, how they created, if you saw Telerik, they provide filtering, sorting, searching like options. Means they use a lot of bootstrapping techniques. They use a lot of bootstrapping techniques and event techniques, right? For example, you see, for example, what we do here. This is header. Huh? Yeah. Here we are generating a table header where we are displaying a key. So we are displaying a key. Actually, if we put this in a div, so class drop down and we put a key. Actually, this is a button. So here we have a class drop down toggle. Drop down toggle. You can see it is having a drop down toggle. So we will have a btn. So that's a button with a drop down toggle. That means you can see first name, last name, designation, salary. A toggle button comes. Now inside this, what we will do, here we have an UL, unordered list. This is having a class name. So drop down menu. So here we have a list item. Class we have uh, drop down, that is drop down item. Okay, here we are using a span. So class bi funnel. Funnel is fine. Okay, this is like filter, one word I am giving. Another one is like sort alpha up, sort ascending. Okay, we have like sort alpha down, so sort descending. Like this we are adding some options, and this button have to use data bs toggle is drop down. Okay, that means when I click on this, it should open it. That means it have options like filter, sort, ascending, sort, descending. And very important is every menu will have that. And every table is having that. Every table is having that. This is not React. This is general your bootstrap skills. Designing is your HTML, CSS bootstrap. Now, React, what it does is it teaches you how to make it work, how we can make it work. But first, designing this is important. That means you must able to create this, right? That means you created one component in such a way that it can work for different situations, different types of data. That means if data is not passed, it is useless. You cannot use this component. It is mandatory to pass the data. So that means from where we pass the data, from the parent component. That means can I use this data grid directly anywhere? No, you can't use directly anywhere. You have to use as a part of another component. So it will be rendered as a part of another component. Actually, in real world, whatever the screen you see, it is made up of lot of combination of components. For example, pagination. Pagination means how many records are there in the data. Based on that, it can break into pages. And actually, what they do, they don't design pagination inside this table. They will create pagination component separate. Why? Because pagination is not only for table. Later, suppose I am displaying cards. Cards means one screen, every product will be displayed in one card. Then cards also needs pagination. That means we need to use that pagination in different places. Then we have to use in different locations. Different locations. So technically we have to do that. So I will show you later how we can add all of these things. Generally, if you know Bootstrap, we can add more effects into this. We can add more effects into this. So I just created one simple example to make you understand how a component is controlled by the data, right? I will copy this. This is another example. So we have component controlled components in that data grid dot what JSX. This is the data grid we created. And how to use it, that depends. So we have components in that control demo dot JSX. In control demo, you can see this. You majority need to follow the notes I posted in the class, because even if I posted the Git link to you, I am modifying several components. You may miss several things, right? What I am doing, I designed a component. After that, I made some changes into that. You will miss what I done first, right? Because you will get updated with only the latest inside that component. Because for every small change I can't create a new component. That's the reason you should completely depend on the note I posted. So because the components are updated regularly, we change that according to the situation. Okay, so this you try. This is one important about common. This is enough. First you try this, because it is not so easy as it looks, right? You need to able to understand the logic of how we can create such grids. You try that. If you can do, then in the next session we will go more depth about this. Tomorrow we will continue, right? In tomorrow's session we will discuss how data is transported from child to parent, parent to child. What are the various examples? We will try one real world example, like weather. We will create one weather app, and we will see how to use controlled component inside it. We will learn about that. Tomorrow we will do that. Okay, right. Yes, Shokat, what is your doubt?
Yes, sir. I missed like two classes, but because I'm based
Yes,
in.
we can't get you. Can you speak little loud?
Yeah, I missed two classes. Can you hear me now?
Yes,
I missed two classes, like last two classes, because I work, sometimes. So,
you need to
uh,
check with admin only. If you missed the classes, you check with
uh
admin. They can help you with the missed sessions related videos or something.
I work like in the morning in US, so it just conflicts sometimes. So
So
that's the
if
reason.
such issues are there, I hope you might have subscribed with videos this course, right?
Yes, yes, I have subscribed videos.
Then they will send you the videos
Uh-huh.
regularly. The
Okay.
classes that you missed out, you check the videos. If you have any doubts in that, let me know.
Okay. One more question, sir. Like you mentioned that I posted in GitHub. I didn't get any link of.
Nah, I said that I will post on Monday.
No, I didn't get any link. Did you send any
Nah,
link?
I said that I will post on Monday. I will post on Monday.
Okay, okay,
Okay. It's not yet posted. On Monday, we will share.
okay, sir.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you
Yeah.
very much.